It's day 16 of designing a Pokopia Cloud Island in 30 days. We're officially past the halfway point, and today we are working on a brand new village. Hopefully, we get that village in a place where it's going to be considered finished. Finished to the extent of anything I'm finishing in this 30-day challenge. It's going to require some decoration. That's what it needs, really. It doesn't look like much but a pile of cabins right now. Let's go take a look. So as promised, I did have the cabins continue construction after I was done recording, and they're all built now. This is the last one, and as soon as I reveal it, everyone's going to disperse. But I did get our 4 Pokemon who are chopping stuff for us to live in the big cottage, the first one we did, and no one else is assigned any of these other cottages right now. I'm hoping to do that today as well. Like just move in some Pokemon that we feel like should live here permanently. But this cottage here, or house, is Scyther, Scissor, Pinsir, and Heracross. They all really like similar things, and I do have them making lumber for me already because running out again yesterday was detrimental. I was not able to finish the things I wanted to finish. So everything else is empty, and I need to figure out who the heck I want living here. But more importantly, it's a boring place, and I want to fix it. To do that, I have a handful of items I would like to play around with. Pointy trees and stumps would be one obvious thing to kind of place around the map. I also have this tall potted plant for the train station. I want to make some more mailboxes for the houses, maybe dye those. We'll get Smeargle up here to help us with all of that. I do have these benches and stuff, but I was using these in the city. I might use different benches up here. There's also signs and stuff. I might just use a little wooden signs here and there. I got more stairs and things like that. Not sure how many of these things I'm going to be using, but yeah, so I have some items, but obviously need to make a trip and go get more. Just kind of getting started for the day. Let's hit up our new vending machines. It's nice to have so many of these. Just being able to like pop in here and grab these for later. I'm sure we're going to want some different liquids at our disposal, so it's nice to have them. And then, yeah, as I suspected, this plant looks great here. It really needed that touch. That looks awesome. Before I run home and just stare at chests, though, and try and figure out what the heck I need here, let's just start placing down trees. I think the easiest thing to do would be to kind of put them, like, we'll start in kind of like a symmetrical kind of pattern, right? So trees kind of in the corners here would be good, but I might want street lights. So let's kind of go out and down one and put a tree just like that on every corner. So here, that already looks better. That's nice. I don't know if I want to do symmetry for the whole thing, but it does ensure that we start getting some height here around our paths. And in terms of just where else I want to put these trees, I'm kind of thinking we just scatter them all around the cabins. And if it starts to look sparse outside town, that's okay. I'm all right with that. We can always, add more trees later, continue going to different islands, grabbing trees. It's no problem. So yeah, I think this will just be a matter of like finding bald spots and just deciding, okay, where do I want these trees? How many do I want? I have 30-ish to play with. So yeah, let's just kind of go hog wild and place down some trees. I think it'd be kind of fun to place them somewhat symmetrically around this path too. So I'm trying to think about how much I want to space them apart, but let's see. Oh, one right here would do, but I got to get rid of this block. Actually, yeah, I think surrounding the path like that, going up to the town here, it looks pretty nice. I like that. It's like the town is through some little clearing if you're just standing in the train station. I'm starting to run a bit low on trees after filling in this giant bald area here, but it's looking good. The more trees I place down, the better this ends up looking. So I'm not necessarily keen on stopping. We might need to hit up another Arcanine Island today because there's a ton of these trees on those. Okay, I've got one more here. I think I'll put it right in here. Something like that. And I gotta say, that looks pretty good. There's quite a few trees that are kind of lined up, which I did not intend for. Of course, I deliberately lined up these 4 trees, but like this one's kind of lined up with those as well. So I'm just trying to think about this from all angles, right? And if you're looking at this from the train station, some of the trees feel intentionally placed, but I want the rest of them to feel like they kind of are random. And now when you look, there's a lot of just tufts of green all over the horizon. All right, I'm out of trees, so next I want to get all of the paths kind of finished up underneath the doorstep of each house. It's just something I left for today, but only takes a couple seconds. However, I'm running out of dirt again. Fortunately, I have just enough to finish the job, and we'll just put borders all the way up to each doorstep. All right, now let me head back home and start grabbing up some items, crafting up some items too, that we can place around this place to make it feel more like a town. I've crafted up a bunch of the obvious items like crates, barrels, things like that. I've been trying to think about the lighting, and there's a couple options, I think. I could go for mushroom lighting, which just kind of fits the vibe really nicely, or I could try to pick one of the 4 big street lights to try to go up there to fit. And I think the chic street light is probably the best one if I were to go for powered lights. But I don't know. Maybe we just make a handful of glowing mushroom street lights and a couple of the mushroom lamps and make that the kind of lighting. You know, we don't need that much. I think it'd be kind of nicer, in fact, if there just wasn't that many lights cluttering up the place. I'll also bring Smeargle with me so we can get some dyeing and painting done, different items, and the cottages too. We want them all to be different colors. Got some more lumber here, which is great. And I do need to be thinking, in the back of my mind at least, about the types of Pokemon I want living in this new space. It's a lot of housing. We have a lot of ability now to house a lot of Pokemon up there. And I can't think of too many currently that I'd want to house up there. Okay, first things first, I think one by one we paint every house. And that way I'll be able to kind of determine what color I want the mailboxes. I like the mailboxes to match the house in some way. And I think having it be like maybe a green roof and a green mailbox, that would look nice. So let's just see. Let's just see what our options are. Oops, you have to like walk up to the house and then talk to them. There we go. I think for this first one, we'll go for green and brown with black trim on the windows. This is a lighter green than what's already on the house. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's go to the next one. For this one, I think I'm going to try a red and gray combo. Next door will be maybe yellow and brown. That might look kind of cool. Yeah, let's see how these two pair next to each other. I think it'll look somewhat nice, right? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel weird about painting the cabins. Mostly because, I mean, do people paint cabins? Logs are usually just the color of the tree that they were, right? Are people like painting logs when they build cabins? Or do they just look like this? It just feels wrong painting the logs. You know what I mean? When I think of cabins, I don't think about cabins that have been painted like that. The roof, sure. But the actual logs the cabin is built out of? I don't know. Whatever. It's a game. It's a game. I shouldn't be thinking this hard. You know, this white and purple combo makes it feel like it'd be really good for a ghost type. I'm trying to remember. I'm mostly focusing on grass Pokemon with this build, so that's not necessarily what I want to do. Put, you know, ghost types here, but it is an option. All right, here's the last cabin being painted right now, and I think this one's going to look pretty nice. There we go. And that's what we did. Those are all the choices I made for all the different cabins. You know what? They're good. I think they're good. It really just depends on, I guess, how we decorate around them. And unfortunately, I don't feel like I have a ton of options in that department either, but I'm going to do mailboxes in front of everybody's house, just like this. And you know what? Yeah, I think that looks nice. The mailboxes always add a nice little touch to any house, which is great, especially the prefab ones. I think for the time being, we can dismiss Smeargle, so we'll say goodbye. And I'm going to jump into Magnet Rise form and start placing down all of these other outdoor decorations that we crafted, starting with the mushroom street lights. We'll kind of stagger these around and do our best to make them look, you know, nice. Like they're going to be lighting up the area, but not cluttered. I do not want to make this like a cluttered kind of thing. The only downside to the way I've done the path borders, of course, is that I can't have the mushroom streetlights share a tile with the border. That's really frustrating. If I put them off the path like that, you don't even really see them when you arrive in town. What do I do about this? I think in the center kind of area, just having a couple like that looks pretty good. I suppose I could stick one right over here by this cliff edge. Since there's no tree blocking it, it'll show up. We could pop this one right here, just on that corner there. It looks, you know, it looks pretty good. And yeah, maybe we just go with the 4. I don't know if it's gonna need any more than that. I suppose this spot right here, I could see one going right here. There we go. Yeah. All right. It's not ideal. I think part of the issue is that they have that little overhanging bit. So if you were to rotate them, for example, like this, the post sits a lot closer to the path. But we can't do that because that would look weird. I like doing little areas like this as well. Just, I don't know what this represents. I guess it's some of the terraforming work that we did. And this is some of the dirt we dug up. And these are for the paths and in the crates. Well, that was food. That was food for the people who worked on this. But they let it spoil because they had salad in their pocket. In terms of random kind of outdoorsy items, I think this is about all I can do, but there's a lot more I can add as well. I've done nothing with shrubs and flowers yet, so we should probably spam those. And then there's one more thing I think we can make in this clearing over here, and that is like a picnic area. We'll make like a 5x5 square, and I use soil because we can actually just punch it and get regular dirt blocks back. I'm once again out of these dirt blocks, so instead of going to a whole island just for those, we'll just make our own. But yeah, okay, that looks good. And then in the middle of this, we're just gonna put a little picnic setup here. I think the easiest way to do this might be, oh, good. I'm doing an even number thing in an odd number space. Now what am I going to do? Here, let's put the picnic table right over here. And then we're going to do this kind of like grill area here. So we'll do this bread oven, a campfire. We'll have to bring a fire tip up here. And then a frying pan, just like this. Right, right under a tree. I'll move the tree. So we'll do that, and the reason I'm leaving that awkward bit of space on the side is because we're gonna make a pergola around this. I think 3 blocks tall for this is probably more than adequate. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I thought this would look a little too crammed, but it actually, I don't know, it kind of looks nice. I think this is great. All right, let's back this tree off a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of move it, maybe like right there. I still wanna have some trees obscuring the ugly kind of mountain behind it. I say ugly because of all the ash and stuff. And, you know, a couple more trees back here would be good. We'll go pick some up later. A couple vines hanging down from this will probably make it feel complete. We'll just make some here on the side of this mountain. I think we can just hang them like this. I don't know how far we want them to go down. Maybe that one kind of touches the ground. We'll put this one back here on the corner. That looks pretty good. While we're at it, we'll do some vine wall decorations too. Hopefully this completes the look without making it seem too, you know, cluttered at the top. Really, I think the more vines you place, the more it just kind of adds to it. So no, this works out really well. Let's just do that. And there. Yeah. I love all the different options we have for hanging stuff off of pergolas like this. This is great. Lastly, a few stepping stones leading to our new picnic area feels like the right call. Maybe. They don't look that good. The problem I have with the stepping stones in this game is that there's only one shape for them. And I kind of rotated it to try to make it feel like they were a little more random, but I gotta be honest, I just don't feel like I'm very good at placing them down and making them look random. I can kind of do it that way maybe. That feels a little bit better. Then I removed one as well. Let's take this one and rotate it real quick. Okay, something like that. And I would use dirt to try to make this, you know, separate it a little bit, but then it'll look the same as the dirt here. Yeah, we'll just keep it like this. One thing I have on me that could benefit this path is just a little mushroom light like that. And if I throw a couple flowers and stuff down, it'll be obvious that there's a path here. Oh, also I made this bonfire, and I think these always look nice in this type of area. So, oops, I was trying to cut this. So yeah, again, fire type Pokemon coming up here to light all this would probably be in my best interest, but it also just as a pile of wood looks kind of cool too. So I'll leave that there for now. We need to go and get some shrubs and some flowers. Let's have Sprigatito join us on this little quest here because now we have a whole bunch of flowers and stuff we need to grow. And I imagine Sprigatito and the Sprigatito line are going to start living up here too. Now that I'm thinking about all the different grass types I have, there's no way I have enough houses for all of that. We need to start spawning other Sprigatito friends as well. Shoot. Fortunately for me, in my main game, I have almost all the Pokemon. I have 291, so I can see exactly how to get each of these different Pokemon. All right, well, this habitat will get us Florigato. Getting Masquerade is going to be a different story. Oh, wait. Oh, I got a light. I'm like, why didn't it work? I have to turn on the light. Anyway, getting Masquerade is going to require us to have some artifacts we don't yet have. So we'll wait on that. And this habitat that I'm making will get us Sudowoodo, and I think Diglett or Dugtrio, one or the other. I'm mostly interested in Sudowoodo and Bonsly because I can put the two of them in one of the little cottages, and that would be pretty nice too. So there we go. A couple different habitats built, and I'm putting them on the path just because, ironically, they're not going to get in the way here. I still don't know what I'm doing with the rest of this area, so just having these on the path keeps them weirdly out of my way. And then remember when I complained about having these little path borders getting in the way of things, blah, 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 and then these path borders are hanging down, the dirt looked a bit silly. Well, I think I have a solution to that. We're going to put planters in front of all the different areas where the stairs are kind of going up to the next level. I think this will be nice for hiding a lot of like little imperfections on the path and stuff. Of course, I got to move this over here now, somewhere else. But, and then, of course, it'll add some color because we can put flowers in them. And in these planters, I think I'm going to put the mountain flower seeds, the purple kind, just all throughout. I only have 9 of the more pink kind, so we'll just stick to these. And even still, I'm like short one because I need to put planters over here. Oh, wait, no, I think I also have to put some, yeah, over here too, if I want them next to every single staircase. So great, I'll have to find more of these. Oh, nice. I think this is, oh, we got Bonsley. This is awesome. Or Sudowoodo. Excellent. So yeah, Dugtrio is the other Pokemon that can spawn with this habitat. Bonsley is from a different habitat, and I can't remember if I've gotten Bonsley on this island or not, but yeah, we'll move Sudowoodo soon. Now, Sprigatito is a Paldean starter, so I'm going to move that whole family into this house here. This is a pretty important house, or it's a pretty large house, meaning it should be for pretty important Pokemon. And I'm just going to be lazy right now and throw down 3 items just to make it livable, and we're going to obviously decorate this later on. I just don't have everything I need right now. But we can move Sprigatito here on the first floor. And even with this pittance of furniture, I'm sure this is a nicer vibe for Sprigatito than what they had over in the other area, because that was just a grass patch in a fence full of other Pokemon that were probably just cramping Sprigatito's style, using all of Sprigatito's stuff, raiding the fridge, you know, eating a couple slices of cheese and leaving the bag open, and then the cheese gets dry and you have to throw the whole thing out. Roommates are awful. Anyway, the next thing I want to plant around here are these hedges. I have some damp hedge seeds, and I have some of these damp hedges. I don't know why they're damp hedges, whatever. These are going to be good to kind of put near the paths and maybe just fill in little gaps like down here. I don't only want to use these specifically, and I don't think I want to place them down symmetrically either. I just need to find good places for them and just pop them in to kind of fill in some areas. I didn't want to overdo it, but yeah, I planted them just kind of somewhat randomly. I wanted to make them feel like they were just spawning in the wild rather than, you know, put there by me. And I'll have maybe Sudowoodo come around and help me sprout the seedling one. Oh, is this not something you do? I thought you did that. All right, Sprigatito's got our back. That's fine. I think heading off to an Arcanine Island next is the play. But I'm making this habitat right now because this actually spawns Bonsley. So we can have, hopefully, Bonsley waiting for us when we get back. That'll be 2 Pokemon to put into a house. And maybe Florigato will be here as well. But we'll just borrow their Arcanine doll to take this trip. And on this island, we are simply here to grab more trees, more foliage. Hopefully I can find some of the flowers I'm missing. Oh, and any artifacts I can find. Oh, and we should probably just triple check for a legendary Pokemon. I don't think we can get that lucky, but let's give it a shot. No. I managed to get another 30 trees, and I did not find any of the flowers I wanted. I didn't get a rare Pokemon. I only found 1 cave. Usually there's like 2, so who knows what I'm missing. There wasn't like a ton of items. I'm guessing there's like some spot underground I can't seem to find at the moment that has a whole bunch of stuff for me, but it doesn't matter. I was mostly here for trees and flowers anyway, so let's head back. There are some of these flowers, though, down here at the base of the mountain. So before I head back up, I may as well just steal them. All right, now we can start spamming even more trees. And I mean, this is kind of my cheat code for making areas feel kind of like finished, at least areas that are going to be in the middle of, you know, nature like this. I can't decorate literally every single tile across this entire game. That's not a situation that's going to work for me, but I can at least try to make things feel complete by adding some nature. So that's good. That's kind of the plan right now. If I ever have a big empty spot, just try to get some trees in there, try to make it feel like I at least did something. Some effort was made. Replacing all this rock with grass is also part of that effort. Oh, did we get Bonsley? Let's see. Did we do it? Oh, we got Florigato and Bonsley potentially here. Let's see. And it's Diglett. Dang it. I'm realizing how many Pokemon I need to spawn in this challenge, and I'm going to want to home all of them, right? I don't want to just have Pokemon in one giant pile next to my spawn area forever. So what am I supposed to do? Like, I have one city, which I guess we can house a lot of Pokemon in, and I have this little village here where all the homes went from, wow, who am I going to put here, to pretty much spoken for in a matter of minutes when I started to decide who was going to live here. This challenge is going to be impossible. I didn't make it a rule that I have to house all the Pokemon, but I pretty much need to house all the Pokemon, right? All right, well, this habitat is officially done, so we can go ahead and pick all this stuff up, and I can give the power situation to Sprigatito's house, so that if I put any lights and stuff in there, they'll turn on. Sprigatito just gave me more of these damp hedges. The ones I didn't have like a lot of. Okay, shoot. Maybe we should plant these. I just have so many purple ones. It'd be nice to have some other variety of hedge kind of laying around. Okay, that was nice because that's exactly what I'm trying to do is just naturalize this place a little bit more. I have these trees though, and a few more flowers. And these are great because I can start to put them over the area where the train kind of rolls into town. And this is going to make things feel even nicer, I think. Just the idea of having these trees here and riding through basically a forest on your way here just seems like a really cool idea. So we're going to put them along the tracks here, there, and everywhere. That might be a little too close. And they're perfect for also blocking off the picnic area too, kind of hiding this giant ash-covered mountain. Making things look a little bit nicer. Down here, riding in from the tracks, this is looking a lot better. I do think we need another tree somewhere over here just to kind of like further block this area off. You know, you have to earn that kind of view, right? You got to get into town first. So this feels like maybe a little too dense, but it works. I think this is good. And let's finally finish the planks. I have them just sitting in my inventory waiting to be put down. Let's get all the planks placed down around the tracks. All of them. And I also should probably consider what I want to do with this tunnel, because I could just leave it rock, and that's fine. But I'm trying to make things feel kind of finished, you know, and this is not that. So yeah, I got to decide what I want to do about that. Oh, that already looks so much nicer. Let's also go over here and get rid of some of this rock. We can replace this with grass very easily. And this little hill could use some trees as well. So I'll put a couple up here, but also some flowers. I'm doing a really bad job at placing flowers. I have other types of flowers on me too, not just those mountain ones. I went ahead and grabbed more elegant flower seeds. So we can plant these kind of like around the train station on your way into town. And I think this will, of course, look really nice. There's already a ton of these just laying around the whole area, so I'm just going to put them in different spots and then try to remember to grab Sprigatito again to get them planted, or grown. I am so excited for how all of this is turning out, by the way. I just kind of noticed through the trees the little smokestacks in the distance of the factory there, and this is just so cool. I love this island. This is turning out to be the best project I've done in Pokopia thus far. And that's probably because it is just one island instead of, what is it, like 5 or 6 different islands in the main save. And it's all just one big thing. And I'm trying to make it all connect together. It's working beautifully. Anyway, let's plant these other flowers here. Got a whole bunch of elegant flowers. I even got a little achievement for having elegant flowers in bloom, so that was good. All right, let's continue finishing up the railroad track section that we started here. All that's left is the ramp, and I also have some leftover stairs that I think I'm just going to put beside these tracks. I really like putting stairs next to the railroad tracks. It's something in the single-player game it suggests you do, so Pokemon can like walk in the tunnels and the rocky ridges a bit easier. And ever since I'm like, you know what? That looks really nice. I want to do that all the time because there's going to be Pokemon sometimes that follow us, like, you know, yesterday, who don't ride on the train. And we want to, you know, make it nice and easy for them to climb up and down. So that's what we're going to do. I knew it. I knew I would be short literally one stair. That is ridiculous. Okay, there we go. This is awesome. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely do something with this tunnel at some point. Try and make it look a little bit nicer. But we did the majority of the work now. And the rest is just, you know, house dressing. Let's take another quick ride and let's appreciate, let me slow down a little bit, the entrance to our new town. It looks like an enchanted forest. It looks so good. And there's obviously room for more. There's room for more little items. There's room for more flowers and shrubs. But for now, I'm feeling pretty good about the state that this is in. Of course, the houses themselves need decorations too. But the more I think about it, the more I realize that what's really important right now is just the overall infrastructure of our entire island, right? Once we get a whole bunch of places set up, then we can start going in, decorating them, and making sure they're fit for specific Pokemon. That being said, I need to keep spawning Pokemon. So it would be good to try to put some Pokemon in houses, even if the houses are kind of crappy, only to get them, like, off the street, literally the street. So I'm not going to overdo it, but for Pseudo-Wudo, for example, we can go into one of the houses and do some of this stuff. Some stone stuff, hard stuff, nature, wooden stuff as well. Yeah, okay, easy. Oh, wow. I've never seen Ho-Oh that close while I'm standing on the ground. We are really high up. I keep forgetting that. Hopefully this drops, like, up here instead of, like, down in this giant desert pit where I have to go all the way down and get it. Can you drop it here, please, before you... Yes! Yay! Okay. Awesome. Right next to the cliff edge. That was perfect. All right, Sudowoodo's house. I'm going to throw a wooden bed right here. And I also made a log bed for little Bonsley. I'm going to put that kind of like over here. And that's going to be like a shared bedroom. I might put up a wall to kind of separate that area. Then I made a kind of stone seating area, like an indoor picnic, if you will. That'll go in the corner right there. And they like dry habitats. I don't really have one of those dry rocks, and I don't know what else I could do to make it dry in here. It's certainly not wet, so that can't be too bad. Sudowoodo should be happy enough in here for now. Vibe in here is so nice. Good. All right, see, it worked. Now if I put down another berry right here, this should spawn Dugtrio, I believe. Or, yeah, Dugtrio. It's a common spawn. Also, I didn't really need to put the berry down. It already counted as a habitat. But there we go. They usually just come and eat the berry anyway, just someone random. So I'll have Diglett and Dugtrio. Not sure they'll live up here, but I'll have them. And then we need to move Diglett somewhere so we can keep this habitat open for Bonsley. Oh my gosh. Dugtrio just spawned as I was walking away. Okay, perfect. We can take Dugtrio with us. You know what? The more I think about it, the more I think maybe for now, at least, we should move Diglett and Dugtrio into one of these houses. Only because the houses house 2 Pokemon, not 3, and these 2 were the only 2 in their line, and that doesn't happen a lot in Pokopia. There's not too many Pokemon lines like that. It just consists of 2. So maybe they should be neighbors. And we'll just kind of, they spawn in the similar habitats, right? They kind of like similar things. They're even similar in, distance in the Pokedex, at least for now. So let's see. Dark. They like dark environments. Lots of dirt, play spaces, cute stuff, group activities, slender objects, and bitter flavors. If they like lots of dirt, I think I could make them a sandbox. I bet this thing counts as lots of dirt. I usually look it up, but I'm feeling kind of lazy. I'm in a hurry. Okay, so I'll throw a sandbox maybe over here for now. And they want cute stuff, and I know the pop art set does also count as cute. So I'll give them a couple of beds. Kind of in the similar arrangement as the house next door. I don't have all the pop art recipes just yet because I've been kind of bad about buying all that stuff. But I'm going to put like a table and chairs in this corner over here. So we'll just do this. These houses in terms of like design and item placement are going to end up being very boring, I think. But listen, it works. And I think Diglett and Dugtrio will like it here. Ooh, and just as I was placing down the last piece of furniture and inviting Diglett to live there, it told me that my environment level increased, which was something I was going to babble about a minute ago and forgot. Moving Pokemon into houses obviously is important before we lay out every single building in the entire island because we unlock more stuff as we level up the environment. Wow. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have a ton of money. All right, you can move in here. That frees up the habitat right here, and we can get rid of this one now because all the Pokemon have spawned that are gonna spawn here. And before we go check on the environment level, let me just power up these 2 houses before I forget. I know Diglett and Dugtrio like dark places, but in case they want anything powered in the future, I don't want to be confused about the house not having any power. All right, this is exciting. Let's head down there. This means we're one step closer to one of our major goals, having a level 10 environment. As long as we keep moving Pokemon into places, I'm not too worried about hitting this goal, but I have not been really working towards it either. So that is exciting. See how much money we just got. Oh my gosh. We got Elegant Flowers in Bloom too. Whole bunch of new things we can unlock. And finally, we can do the relaxing park kit, and we can make all the different altars now. I might as well just buy all these while I'm here. I have plans for the legendary bird altars, so this is exciting. I must have said 100 times that I wanted a park over and over again in the city here. And every time I would say, oh, I want a park, I'm gonna make a park today, I would check that PC and realize that I didn't have enough environment level to get this park in particular. And I just wanted to see if it would fit in this area in the city. And indeed, it almost perfectly fits right here where I wanted to put a park all along. Almost perfectly. The shape of it is... No, yeah, we have... What is this? Yep, 2 tiles away from the path here. It comes right up against the border over here, and then 2 tiles right here. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. I wasn't doing any work in the city today. This was way not the plan at all. I was about to end, but no, we have to start this park build, right? We can't just leave this here. I'm learning that I'm legitimately out of logs for this build. I also wanted to visualize it before I placed it down. It's always good to do this. A lot of these parks kind of move themselves up a tile, and sometimes that looks great and sometimes you don't want that. So I might want to bury this in the ground by 1 layer So let's not rush this. Just hold on. Let me go ahead and just visualize this. Okay, yeah, so that does take up a little bit less room than it originally seemed. I think if I put it dug into the ground, it's gonna look worse because right now it's gonna raise itself up a little bit, and then I'm gonna have room to decorate around it with like more shrubs and flowers and stuff. So I'm gonna leave it like that. We need logs though. I have a plan for that. I'm gonna take our remaining pointy trees and I'm going to cut all of them down. I'm gonna save the stumps, and I may decorate with the stumps up in that village we've been working on. This should get us more than enough logs for the time being though. I did kind of panic when I ran out of lumber and I used literally all my logs to make more lumber. Okay, we just need 1 builder and 2 gatherers, and that should be nice and easy. We'll just come over here. And there we go. Everybody we need, all the items we need, and this park will be done soon. Ah, that is exciting. Okay, that is another plot in the city spoken for. And the rest of the plots, now that we have like a park and stuff, the rest of these plots are definitely going to need to be some kind of building. But we're not worried about that right now. I'm still going to be taking a break from the city because there are a lot of other places on the island we need to focus on. Heading back into the mountains now, there is one more thing I wanted to do. Oops, I forgot to put the wheelbarrow inside the Diglett house. Let me do that. And then there's one more thing I wanted to do. Oh my gosh, they're sharing a bed. That's adorable. Here, I'll just put this right here. They're already very happy. They got us to environment level 8, but yeah, that's for them. But really, the last thing I wanted to do is place down these tree stumps, like I mentioned before, because if I don't do it now, there's no way I'm going to remember to do it later. So this is nice because I have a lot of Pokemon up here who actually like go out of their way to chop up logs for me. Hang on, do we finally get Bonsly? It is! It is Bonsly! Ah, yes! Okay, great. Well, this has been a good day for finding new Pokemon. Okay, we'll move Bonsly in here, but as I was saying, having tree stumps laying around makes a lot of sense when your village is full of Pokemon who chop up trees all day. So assuming no more trees are going to be added to the actual like proper village, it makes sense to kind of run around and just place down some stumps as if it was even more overgrown before and someone had to do something about it. Okay, there we go. So that's all those placed down. And then one thing I never do is run around and place down little tufts of grass, which if we're trying to naturalize an area, it kind of makes sense that you would have grass like that just here and there. All right, one final overview before we move on to our next big project tomorrow, and I think this was a success. This is really nice. I kind of worked with what I had. There's obviously more we can do, but I'm not upset at all by the progress we've made here, and there's plenty of room for some more Pokemon to move in. We have some plans for this house, obviously. This house is empty with no one planned to move in just yet. And, you know, we can always make more habitats, we can make more houses, we can put more houses together out of blocks. There's all kinds of stuff we can do up here. But right now, we need to be thinking about what we're going to do tomorrow. And tomorrow, the plan is simple. We take flight, sort of. We're going to take this train track, and we're going that direction. So, yeah. If you haven't noticed, I'm on a bit of a world tour, building train stations and towns all over the island to make sure I meet my goal of decorating every part of it. So, that is what we're doing tomorrow. I hope you'll join us. And the next video is on the screen now if it's ready. I'll see you there.